Hi, I hope you enjoyed the opening video. My name is Thomas Smith McGinnis, and this is Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola was created by John S. Pemberton on May 8, 1886, and first served at Jacob's Pharmacy. The name actually came from Frank Robinson, the company accountant. In 1888, the acquisition of Coca-Cola by Asa Candler was finalized, and Coca-Cola was officially incorporated as a corporation in the state of Georgia. With that acquisition, Asa Candler also bought the formula, copyrights, and patents. As the company grew rapidly, the first bottling rights were sold for only $1 to Benjamin F. Thomas and Joseph B. Whitehead, operating in Chattanooga, Tennessee in 1899. The iconic contoured glass bottle was designed and patented in 1915. And here's a fun fact. Original Coca-Cola had about 4.3 milligrams of cocaine per 6-ounce drink. The amount was gradually reduced to zero by 1928. What many people don't know is that powdered cocaine was never added to the actual product. The extract of the coca leaf used in making the formula naturally contains cocaine. In 1945, Coke, C-O-K-E, becomes a registered trademark. During the 1960s, Coca-Cola acquired Minute Maid, adding juices to its product line. The lemon lime drink Sprite was introduced, and Tab, Coca-Cola's first diet drink, comes on the scene. Coca-Cola tried its hand at diversification by purchasing Columbia Pictures movie studio in 1982, though it was later sold to once again focus solely on beverages. In 1985, Coca-Cola became the first soft drink consumed in outer space. In that same year, Coca-Cola acquired Barq's root beer. And those are just a few highlights in Coca-Cola's impressive history. Today, Coca-Cola is number 87 on the Fortune 500 list. It boasts $31.856 billion in revenue, $6.434 billion in profit, with 62,600 employees, more than 700,000 including licensed bottlers. As the world's largest beverage company, Coca-Cola holds 43.3% of the U.S. market share. Coca-Cola operates in over 200 countries across 5 regions: Asia Pacific, Europe, Middle East and Africa, Latin America, and North America. There are 21 Coca-Cola brands, each worth at least $1 billion, and nearly 4,100 products. Coca-Cola's 2 closest competitors are PepsiCo and Dr. Pepper Snapple Group. As previously mentioned, Coca-Cola has a 43.3% market share. PepsiCo comes in second at 24.9% market share. Dr. Pepper Snapple Group rounds out the top 3 at 17.9% market share. Coca-Cola's main advantage is its size. Its market share and brand dominance allow it to set costs and pricing that keep the company extremely financially efficient. The other main competitive advantage for Coca-Cola is the drive of its leadership. It started with the secret formula and continues with things like proprietary packaging and some of the most effective marketing campaigns in history, making Coca-Cola one of the most recognized brands in the world. Even though Coca-Cola reigns supreme atop the beverage empire, it hasn't come without some challenges. Let's take a look. Typecast. The very first slogan for Coca-Cola read, "This intellectual beverage and temperance drink contains the valuable tonic and nerve stimulant properties of the coca plant and the cola nuts, a valuable brain tonic and a cure for all nervous affections, sick, headache, neuralgia, hysteria, melancholy, etc." It was a few years before they realized they were marketing to a limited segment, sick people. So they reinvented Coke with a new slogan, "Drink Coca-Cola, delicious and refreshing." The rest is history. Challenge number 2, distribution. For years, Coca-Cola was only available at soda fountains in pharmacies or stores. Coca-Cola needed their product to be more portable and readily available for consumption. That's what prompted the sale of bottling rights in 1899. Almost 30 years and 1,263 bottlers later, bottled Coca-Cola outsold fountain sales. Third challenge, cocaine. Coca-Cola figured out that while it was originally touted as a wonder drug, the presence of cocaine in its product could prove to be problematic. In 1903, the company slowly started reducing the amount of cocaine in the beverage and replacing it with caffeine. They did not want their distribution system to become the vehicle for a national drug euphoria. Challenge number 4, the bottle. Although Coca-Cola was being bottled all over the country, the only consistency was the formula itself. There was no standard set for the actual container. What Coke looked like on the West Coast wasn't necessarily what it looked like on the East Coast. Coca-Cola decided they wanted a uniform design, so definitive that you could recognize it even in the dark. They held a contest, and the hourglass bottle was born, and it's still in use today. Challenge number 5, Pepsi. It took a couple of decades, but Pepsi-Cola became a threat to Coca-Cola. They first took aim at the packaging. The iconic glass bottle was only 6.5 ounces. To counter, Pepsi introduced a 12-ounce bottle for only a nickel, chipping away at Coke's market share. It took Coca-Cola over 15 years to incorporate larger bottles, and 5 more after that before 12-ounce cans were introduced. Number 6, Diet. Diet Right Cola found a niche in the cola industry. Instead of dragging their feet, Coca-Cola introduced Tab Diet Cola. It was wildly successful. Even at the time Diet Coke was introduced, Tab was outselling Diet Pepsi by 23%. Challenge number 7, Pepsi again, with the Pepsi Challenge. Who among us that's old enough doesn't remember the Pepsi Challenge commercials that employed blind taste tests for consumers to choose a cola by flavor alone? The campaign was a huge success for Pepsi. Even when Coke tried to replicate the test, the majority still chose Pepsi. It wasn't long before Pepsi surpassed Coke in supermarket sales. To combat this, Coca-Cola came out with New Coke. Not only did it perform well, people preferred it to the original Coke. But after 3 short months, the original formula was back, marketed as Classic Coca-Cola, to counter talk that the change to New Coke was because the original couldn't stand against the flavor of Pepsi. And challenge number 8, sugar. Over time, there has been a steady decline in the consumption of sugary drinks. Coca-Cola noticed the trend and took the lead, substituting high fructose corn syrup with cane sugar and utilizing other non-caloric sweeteners. Pepsi-Cola found themselves noticeably playing catch-up. Coca-Cola set up the Coca-Cola Foundation in 1984. It is the primary vehicle for Coca-Cola charitable services. To date, the foundation has given more than $1 billion in grants to support programs such as clean water initiatives, fitness and nutrition, recycling, education, women's empowerment, entrepreneurship, and others. Coca-Cola also has a matching gifts program during times of natural disasters, where it matches personal contributions from employees to many verified organizations at a 2-to-1 ratio. Coca-Cola has a long history of sponsorship also, dating back to 1928. Some of its most popular sponsorships include American Idol, BET Network, NASCAR, NBA, the NCAA, and the Olympic Games, which kicked off the giving and sponsorship in 1928. Coca-Cola also participates in numerous special programs. The Coca-Cola Scholars Program, being one of them, has been providing educational scholarships since 1986. Other partnerships include WWF, the World Wildlife Fund, World Vision, World Resources Institute, UNHabitat, UNDP, the United Nations Development Program, and others.
The technology side of Coca-Cola is a big one. They seem to do their own research and discovery and outsource very little. And when they do, it is financed by Coca-Cola and not through any third-party lendings. Introducing the 9100 Freestyle, it is an improved system for generating business as well as through more segments at restaurants, whether it's a fast food chain like Wendy's, McDonald's, Five Guys, or Zaxby's. It also allows for more convenience. The trucking and logistics is important due to the amount of product demanded. It must be met by sufficient supply. Through that, it means a lot of deliveries requiring transportation. The packaging side of it is always ready to be improved, and currently Coca-Cola is working on enabling more recycling abilities to make packaging that much more environmentally friendly. The recycling side of it, PET, polyethylene, and terephthalate, is molded into renewable plastic bottles, which we will discuss more of shortly. In the mid-1950s, there was a Coca-Cola machine, such as the one on the left, that was introduced that is very simple, not much to it. It kept it cold, and you got what was inside of it. Now, if you look at the early 1980s one, you can see where it gives you kind of a glimpse as to what's inside. Now, it does not also allow for much to be in there. It's just, as it says at the bottom, keeps it ice cold. Now, jumping up 29 years to 2009, you have the first Freestyle machine that was introduced. And it is a convenient, sleek apparent machine that, as you see there, that is what you get. It's on the ground, or they have some that are smaller that can go on top of counters, but it allows for a large variety of drinks, whether they're soft drinks or other drinks such as Powerades and lemonades. Now, it also has an ice machine built into it, so it's very sleek and does not take up as much room as some of the other vending machines that fast food restaurants have had. The 9100 Freestyle machine, it's, with changing technology constantly, it means you as a company, and in this case Coca-Cola, must be rapidly changing current and future designs to fit the always changing trend. In the new Freestyle machine coming out, it allows a user to open an app on their phone to queue in line their custom order of their choice. This is done through Bluetooth. Through the app, it also allows them to see nutritional facts, which is extremely helpful in the fact that they can be looking something up, not having to stand in line to see what they're wanting to get to drink. Now, it also has healthier options such as Powerade, water, and carbonated waters. With these, there are also large varieties of flavors of these types, upwards of 10 each. So, through staying current, there is Freestyle allows data mining of the quantity of one drink that's requested, how much volume that is drank at, say a certain location, and where, so that way they can go through and gather that information, market those particular drinks to that area. Not only can they use those in those restaurants, but they could even use it for, saying for Memphis, Tennessee, you could say there's Memphis versus Germantown and Colleyville and Cordova. Well, of Cordova, they drink more of one type of Coke. Well, they may push more marketing to Cordova that specifically is detailed into, say, a Coke Zero or Vanilla Coke. Whereas, say, Memphis and Germantown, they like just the regular plain Coke. So they may market more of that. But also allows them for maybe to keep a larger quantity on hand of a certain type. But all through this one machine, it allows them to keep up with this. So it is a very powerful tool for a restaurant to have, as well as for Coke to have developed. And the demand is regularly met because they are able to keep up with this information, so they make sure they have enough on hand for those suppliers. There's 165 flavors, which is in a huge amount given a small machine. And as you can see on the picture on the right, starting at the top left, there's Powerade, Mellow Yellow, Dasani, some Fantas. So through all those segments, they're able to meet multiple people's criteria as to what they would like. I know for myself, I don't really drink soft drinks. I always go to the Powerades, and they have a large variety of those, so it suits my needs. Sip and Scan is the coin name for the consumer. to use, but for the restaurant, they have a similar machine that allows them to customize inventory and also the reorder points. By having this convenience for both the consumer and restaurants, they have been able to process use by time consuming to now being more efficient, less time spent and putting more money back in the pocket for the restaurants, and the simple convenience of knowing the nutritional facts for the consumer while they're waiting in line, or if they want to look it up at other times. It reduces not only the time one spends in the line looking this up, it also allows people to move through it faster, and it directly correlates to the solution for their greatest problem of people knowing the nutritional facts. Now, through the Sip and Scan app, consumers are able to scan a product, such as a can of Coke, which can then unlock experiences and prizes. Through the design of the Freestyle machine, it gives great insight to consumer behavior for the analysts to monitor marketing, as we went over, and through that, they are then able to transpire that to better serving the restaurant themselves. So not only is Coke making themselves look good by doing this, but it helps the restaurant get into more fine-tuned detail with their consumers at that time. Now here's a little message from the VP and GM of the Freestyle machine.
Welcome to the Global Innovation Center for the Freestyle dispenser. Come on in. The essence of Coca-Cola Freestyle is really about choice. Choice for people when they're making their beverage decision. We really tried to build into this innovation the ability to choose from 200 beverages. Inside of that, there are 117 that are low, no calorie. And we have 130 some that have no caffeine. So it really gives the consumer control. Today, we have 50,000 dispensers in the market. We do about 14 million servings a day, and this has become a billion-dollar business for Coke. The 9100 Freestyle will be introduced in the latter half of this year, and it really takes into consideration much of the learnings we've had over the past couple of years. We've built things into this dispenser that are not only current for today, but really set us up for the future. Whether that's Bluetooth or an optical sensor, we've really tried to think about what's next. We've worked hard to make sure that every dispenser we put out in the marketplace is contemporary and state-of-the-art. We have lots of people thinking about how we continually evolve the platform, whether that's through software upgrades or things that we do on the screen. We're always trying to make sure that it's relevant to people today. Choice and variety and customization, they're not just fads. So we're really going to make sure that with the Freestyle platform, we stay as current as possible and we offer the choices that people want.
Now, a message from Jay Moy in 2013. She had said, Coca-Cola North America is finding more ways than ever to ensure its beverages are within arm's reach of desire. In today's fast-moving marketplace, through product innovation, new distribution channels, and data-driven decision marketing, according to Jaylee Jolene, the SVP of Strategy, Planning, and Decision Science. Now, the logistics side of Coca-Cola is the demand is so great in the sense that there is over 180 million fluid ounces daily drinking of their product. And in order to move all of that product, they must have vehicles. And as you can see in these picture down below, there's three types, all very large. Now, the one on the far right is a newer vehicle that they're rolling out, and they've started on this initiative since 2009, and it's paired up with E-Star vehicles. It's an electronic vehicle, and they so far have 750 of these on the market for them. Now, that of course is ever growing, but they have paired forces with them to continue making their fleet larger and to be able to change their environmental footprint put out, given the amount of trucks that they have to move their quantity of product. Now, the alternative fuel of the trucks is, again, trying to help save it, reducing their emissions, as well as putting their footprint out there to say, look, we are also taking the initiative of being friendly with the earth as well as lowering their footprint. So here shortly, when we go into another segment of the recycling, we'll kind of dive a bit more into this. Now, the packaging side of it, they have redone some holders to where, for ocean purposes, for animals that can't get stuck inside the old almost like a rubber, they're so difficult to break, that would hold the 6-packs of cans. And so they've done a redesign for that, and it's a lot more of a cardboard type material. and then some also that can disintegrate over time. So now they're being more environmentally friendly with the PET, and it has brought a completely new meaning to the recycling initiative for Coke. It enables them to use bottles, no matter the color, to transform them back to the virgin state and then into new bottles. This also has been passed along to others for the purpose of just being environmentally friendly. Now, I'm sure it's come with a fee to other companies. So far, it has not been given to some of their competitors. It was in some of the research, it does show that they will probably be doing that one day, just to be a little more conscious of their footprint as well as their competitors. And so, not sure when that would be, but it looks like it's going to be something coming up here soon. Now, here's a little video talking about their advertisement into the recycling side of it for them. So by reinventing the packaging, it's leading them to a higher recycling rate through the consumers such as us. So through Coke, as they are recycling, they're changing the game of it. And you can see from 1899, the first bottle, almost looks like a cough syrup bottle nowadays, we see, is changed now to today, the kind of aluminum can there, much more user-friendly as well, recycling purposes. Now, they're trying to lower their carbon footprint, as we have discussed, but they're also trying to make that much clearer that they are willing to do that, such as the vehicles, changing the way they are packaging, doing the PET, trying to make sure that they can take what they have made, put it back down to the beginning state, and redo it from there, instead of having to get more product and constantly overfill our recycling sites. And so through the video we had just watched, Coca-Cola, they do a lot with advertising. They always have. They're one of the leading people in money spent through a given year. But they have always done it well, and so that was the point of that video, to really showcase what they are trying to do. Not only are they saying this is what we're doing, but they're also showing it by, again, the videos and the packaging. So the recycling, stronger efforts in their advertising, like the video initiative, they're doing bins, as you can see on the right, with the give it back and the recycling symbol with the Coke in it. That's the universal recycling sign, so everyone can tell that when they look at it. But one thing that they've done clever, two things, is the color scheme. Everyone recognizes red and white. They know exactly what that's for, even if it didn't show Coca-Cola. Or, like the second point, it's not in a bottle shape. They know exactly who it would be for. So another clever thing for them to have done. So it's attracting that segment to say, oh, that looks cool, let's go ahead and put this into there. But hopefully before long, as we'll get to a goal in a minute, they're trying to get more and more people to do that. So though it does look cool, they're trying to say, look, we need to stick to this. And so they're not only just asking people to do it or trying to get people to do it, they are doing it themselves. So through the PET products, they've teamed up with a company called Ionica Technologies, and they're trying to come up with more sustainable ways for the recycling of the PET bottles. And Coca-Cola is actually doing a loan to them to work alongside of one another to come up with another plant for them to do this. And they are going to be doing the first one in the Netherlands. And now by the year 2030, they have a goal set to have every bottle produced, consumed, and then in turn recycled. So it's a big step, but it's going to be a very big initiative with it being done. Now, to close us out on the technology side, final quote: our aspiration as part of a world without waste vision is to close the loop on our packaging by helping turn more bottles into new ones explains Scott Pearson.
Hi everyone, my name is Michael Jennings. I'll be discussing the three main issues that Coca-Cola faces today. These three issues being health concerns, problems in international markets, as well as soft drink taxes in the United States. So the first of these issues being health concerns is absolutely the company's largest issue. Obesity, type 2 diabetes, and other diseases are directly related to sugary beverages. In the last 10 years, Coke stated health consequences as their biggest threat to their company. The Securities and Exchange Commission even listed obesity and health consequences as Coke's greatest threats to their profit. Large sodas have also been a problem, so much so that there was a discussion of banning them in New York City in 2013. Now, when I first heard this story, I immediately thought of the Parks and Rec scene where they're discussing large sodas.
Ms. Pinewood, recently many of the local restaurants have changed their small size option to a whopping 64 ounces.
That's correct. And it's great for the consumer. More bang for the buck. Are we putting bargains on trial here? How could any sane person call that small? Well, if the customer truly wants a smaller size, there is an option. Oh, do you mean the little swallow? Does anybody buy that? Some girls buy them for their dollhouses, but they're not very popular. I mean, for only a nickel more, you get 64 ounces.
Well, Paunchburger just recently came out with a new 128-ounce option. Most people call it a gallon, but they call it the regular. Then there is a horrifying 512-ounce version that they call child size. How is this a child size soda?
Well, it's roughly the size of a 2-year-old child if the child were liquefied. It's a real bargain at $1.59.
I'm sorry, Miss Pinewood, but why would anybody need this much soda?
It's not my place to speak for the consumer, but everyone should buy it.
Alright, so obviously that's an exaggeration. However, even a large 30-ounce soda has 330 calories with 83 grams of sugar. So Coca-Cola, to kind of combat this, has started with development of these new diet drinks, which started in 1983 with Diet Coke. Diet Coke was designed to have this lighter Coke taste without any of the sugar. And they took that, and then around 2007, they tried to develop Coke Zero, which had zero sugar, but still had the same regular Coke taste that Diet Coke didn't really have. With developments of more diet drinks, they also ended up releasing Coke Freestyle machines. Used to, you go to a restaurant or a fast food place and there'd be 8 sodas to choose from, and maybe 2 of them were diet drinks. With the Coke Freestyle machine, there was a plethora of diet drinks or sparkling water, whatever it may be, and not only were there diet drinks offered, each diet drink offered a different kind of flavor that people could try. So they're really pushing for these sugar-free or artificially sweetened sodas. Coke also started selling Diet Coke in taller, skinnier cans to promote good health, and started selling them in flavors like lime, orange, etc. Coke has also spent the last 6 months developing a new sparkling water called AHA, coming in March of 2020. This new sparkling water doesn't want to just be another lime or berry sparkling water. So they just started developing these flavors like lime watermelon, strawberry cucumber, citrus green tea, orange grapefruit, and all kinds of other flavors. I saw 2 main examples of problems for Coca-Cola in international markets. The first of which is that Coca-Cola is kind of being blamed for China's increase in obesity. China saw an increase of 20.5% of their population to 42.3% of their population that are now obese in just a 10-year span. Because of this blame being assigned to them, they're currently having strong influence on how the Chinese government is addressing the growing obesity issue within their country. The other example I found in international markets was Coke and India's relationship. They've had a very different kind of relationship in the last 50 years. Back in 1977, the government of Japan wanted Coca-Cola to partner with a local firm. Coca-Cola wanted nothing to do with this, so they withdrew from the country. Eventually, in 1993, Coca-Cola came back to the country. Things were going pretty smoothly until about 2017, when retailers protested and boycotted Coca-Cola because they felt that Coke was exploiting scarce water resources within a drought-hit states within the country. The situation seems under control nowadays, though, as Coke continues pouring billions of dollars into the Coca-Cola system in India. So the last issue that Coke faces is a relatively new problem. There's a soft drink tax that currently 6 U.S. cities have. The 6 cities are Albany, California, Oakland, California, Berkeley, California, Chicago, Illinois, which really extends to all of Cook County in Illinois, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Boulder, Colorado. Berkeley, California was the first to enact this new tax in March of 2015. Boulder currently has the highest tax at 2 cents per ounce. Most of the places, usually it's just 1 cent per ounce. Now you may be asking yourself, where does the money go and what's the purpose of this tax? The most obvious reason for having this tax is to generate more revenue for each of these cities. However, the cities are claiming that it's also to promote a better well-being for their citizens. Where the money actually goes is a different kind of question. Each city is a little different. For instance, Philadelphia used their tax money to fund 2,000 preschool classrooms for low-income families. The tax also brought in $12.3 million in the first 2 months it was in effect. Berkeley assigned a panel of nutritionists as well as educators and healthcare workers to decide where the money should be best used. So far, the money has been used to fund gardening and healthy cooking classes for public schools. Obviously, this soft drink tax is a major issue for Coca-Cola. Having a soft drink tax would make the price of their product go up, which would make fewer consumers buy it, or Coca-Cola will be forced to make a decision to lower the price of their good by the amount of the tax so that consumers are paying the same amount they've always paid. However, it'll see a drastic decrease in revenue and profits for Coca-Cola, the company. Because this is such a large deal, Coca-Cola has spent millions of dollars to fight off government officials from enacting any more of these taxes across the United States. So in closing, the 3 main problems that Coca-Cola faces today are health concerns, international markets, and the new soft drink tax. Obviously, health concerns is the most important as it outreaches into international markets as well as the soft drink tax. Coca-Cola is attempting to improve the company's health options as well as their global image by avoiding these 3 problems and creating new solutions.
Hey everyone, my name is Walker Wilkinson, and we're here to talk a little bit about Coke's branding. So Coca-Cola has been changing their brand over the last couple of years just to promote a more healthy line of products for themselves. In 2014, they established a Balanced Calories Initiative, which was not only Coke, but other fellow industry leaders taking a stance to produce more health-conscious products that push them into having better options for their customers. This has been the single largest effort by an industry so far to combat obesity. And these are pushing things like Coke Zero out, changing the labels, things like that, to changing not the labels solely, but the nutritional facts, showing how many calories are in each drink, on what size drink up front, so there's no confusion, and so that you can see more of what you're getting, and it's not so much into the dark about, oh, how bad is this for me? What's in this? How, is it really that bad? They're pushing more of a health conscious vibe throughout the company's product line to give customers a better view of what they're pushing for. So part of Coca-Cola's branding is that they tend to focus more on the brand itself than they do their products. So what I mean by this is, instead of pushing like, oh, you're going to want this Coke, you're going to want this Coke, this brand, this style, Diet Coke, Coke Zero, Coke with vanilla, that kind of thing, they focus more on what the brand itself is. And with doing this, they push a more of a fellowship and like bringing people together to their brand. So like we've seen Coke do over the years with their Share a Coke commercial, the Share a Coke brand, where they were putting names on the bottles so that you could buy a Coke for your friend if they saw their name. They've been focusing all of their branding around pulling people together and showing what all Coke can provide to the consumer as a company, not necessarily as a beverage. So their focus is on getting people, hitting people to be more brand loyal to them based off of targeting those people, the qualities those people look for in a company they want to follow. Alrighty, so here's the Share a Coke commercial. We'll just watch this real quick.
Hey, all that we could do if we started with me and you. And I'll keep coming back around. Hey, some things will never be explained. Summer's calling out 1,000 names, and I'll keep coming back around. I'll keep coming back around. Outside the summer's calling. These are the days without a care. And when the night is falling, these are moments meant to share. So wait a while and then you'll see. It all started with you and me. Oh, wait and you'll see. I'll keep coming back around. I'll keep coming back around. I'll keep coming back around.
Alright, so as you can see in the Share a Coke commercial, the entire commercial is based around the idea of community and sharing one of Coke's products with many friends and get-togethers and being able to have fellowship by sharing their product. And that's the main pull for their branding experiments. Coke started their one brand campaign, which typically this campaign is based around a branding model that works for every country, like international market, one flat marketing brand across the board, which typically is a big no in the marketing community as far as not targeting specific cultures, religions, things like that. There's certain cultural aspects of international marketing that have to be taken into effect when pushing a product because they respect different things throughout different countries. Coke has figured out a way, because of the way they target their branding around community, family, friends, the general basis of what people typically go for and what they typically find important in life. They've been able to successfully push this one brand campaign all the way across the overseas and have a flat across the board branding style that's been wildly successful across the world. In doing this, they're able to not only focus more solely on the products as well, but also it keeps everything on the same page. There's not different aspects they have to worry about going to other countries. The main focus is simple. They didn't make anything complicated. It's just, we're here to support community, friendship, family, and that's just what Coca-Cola is about. And that's their big push, which has been fantastic for them. So, Coke strong suits so far. Coke does a great job of bringing people together with their advertisements. Anytime you watch a Coke ad, especially in the last few years, it genuinely makes you want a Coke. You see all these people that are happy, having a get together, partying, and they're all sharing a Coke, all between each other, and it brings them all together. And it's a very uplifting type of branding and commercial. So they do a fantastic job with that. Like I said before, they target the qualities that people most commonly look for in a brand that they want to follow. Like, you know, if you're following a brand that they make it pretty clear that all they care about is money and all they care about is you buying their product, you're more than likely not going to follow them unless that product is something that you can't go without. But Coca-Cola realizes they are not a product you can't go without. There's plenty of other alternatives, which is why they push the sentiment that they care so much about your community. So, we've talked about a couple of problems throughout the presentation, and the main problem we see Coke facing is the health issues that it causes. Because it does have a significant issue with causing obesity, overall health issues with the sugars and everything that are in the drinks. So, they're currently, as we said, are trying to brand themselves as more of a health conscious company, and we had a couple solutions to the problem that we would suggest trying. So, pushing a campaign that's not only focusing on how the brand is and how the brand is about community, but also pushing the campaign to explain how Coke is looking to help you be healthier, how Coke is interested in making sure you are using their products, but that they're not hurting you and that they're bringing you to a better place overall. The other option that we would suggest is pushing more. We know that they push products in smaller portions as they have like their 8-ounce cans, things like that. Show more of those products in a advertising campaign. Show the people that may not know that there are typically smaller portions. You can see them on the shelf, yes, but they don't understand the health benefits to it possibly. So showing them that there is an alternative product for them does have a benefit alone. And then the last suggestion we had was just working closely on innovating the technology around what their products are made out of. So the different ingredients they use in their drinks could possibly have healthier alternatives that could be used that would keep the product's quality up and provide a better health quality as well. So these are the things that we want to look into with Coca-Cola as a brand, and what we suggest they would look into to solve the possible problems they're having with health issues. And then in conclusion, the best things that Coca-Cola does are so much stronger than the weak points it has. However, if they can push through and get those weak points established out and fixed, then there's endless possibilities to how well they'll do, because there really won't be a negative side to the company itself. Thank you.